So basically, that's the entire plot of Parappa the Rappa 2.
So you're telling me the dog wins a lifetime supply of noodles to prove himself as a man to win the affection of a flower?
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, and the dog constantly states how he wants to believe in himself.
Dude, that sounds awesome.
Hey friends, I'm Pragmatik and I like to talk about video games. And today I want to talk about Parappa the Rappa 2. And I'm not even going to leave you in suspense here. I love this game. But one of my favorite things about this game is telling people the plot of the game who may have not played it before and just gauging their interest. So if you'll just bear with me for a second, I have a little... This is from my script I wrote out. So let's just do our best here. So Parappa wins a lifetime supply of noodles, and while that rocks, he quickly begins to tire of them. And at the worst time possible, his love interest Sunny, who happens to be a flower person, stay with me here, prepares him an all-noodle meal, which he quickly runs out on. Now after leaving Sunny, he finds himself in doubt that he is actually a grown-up man, and sets out to become said man. All while rapping against people he considers his teachers. I swear, I can't make this up. It's the worst sounding plot, and I absolutely love it.
Parappa the Rappa 2. Developed by Nana Own Shah and published by Sony themselves, this is one game everybody should experience once. In a world full of rhythm games, this one has always stood out amongst the crowd. And for good reason. It's silly, it's catchy, and most importantly, it's fun. The plot is exactly as I described it. Parappa will venture through 8 levels of songs, each teaching him how to become a man, and how to stop an underlying plot of someone or something trying to turn every food into noodles.
Let me introduce to you, with honor and much respect, our dog, our boss, and our master, and the founder of the Noodleizer, Colonel Noodles! Yeah, give him a hand, come on, bring him out!
God, you really can't make this up, but I swear it's good. The biggest feature to Parappa the Rappa will always be its diverse, catchy music and its addictive gameplay. You'll start at a slow pace and gradually increase in difficulty with each new level. Not that you'd ever notice because the songs are just too fun to care.
Time to get romantic, yes indeed, that's for sure. The kick punch style remains very secure. Never pending, always the fast to make a move. This time we get down nice and smooth.
With each song completed comes more of the game's story, if you can call it that. You'll never find yourself becoming too overwhelmed with the gameplay either, as each level comes with a bit of a practice round.
Come on, Parappa, relax. It's practice time. Watch them flies!
Yeah, I'm not doing that. And while the game does require you to match the rhythm of the rhymes of each teacher, Parappa the Rapper also encourages a bit of freestyle. This allows the user to sing in parts of the song that doesn't have a note prompt, or even sing a different prompt over the required one. Parappa won't be penalized for doing so, and it even pushes the song flow to a cool style, which allows Parappa to freestyle for a small while, and finishing on that level will award you with a soundtrack to listen to later. I don't have an example of this because apparently I wasn't good enough this playthrough. Sorry. Just a rhythmless white boy here. If you're like me, performing poorly also changes the song flow and even the amount of button prompts, so this kind of makes a different type of music and gameplay, but ultimately you'd want to perform better for a more engaging experience. But that should be obvious. Like I said before, the music and gameplay is the real treat here, so getting as much as you can out of it is the way to go, and this game has a great way of giving you a lot of quality for what is essentially a 1-hour game. I can't stress enough that the meat of the experience here is the unique characters and the catchy tunes they come with. While virtually none of the characters come off as boring, my absolute favorite has to be Guru Ant.
Small and worthless. That's what you guys are. You keep shouting you want to grow big, you want to grow big. Do you really understand the meaning of big?
Who's that? Don't know, but he'll probably help us get big.
His personality of being larger than life, coupled with the fact that he doesn't like to actually be physically big, makes for a pretty interesting dynamic, as well as a fantastically groovy song.
Revolutions all the time, people changing the
Some of the characters in the second game are completely new and some are reoccurring, like the legendary Chop Chop Master Onion. While his song is pretty fantastic as well, he also offers you a bonus round of smashing these plates his students set out for you, matching the color they have to the buttons on your controller. But every time I play it, I can't help but just knocking the life out of one of these little dudes. As I stated before, each character you meet is a defining part of the plot. From just learning about food turning into nothing but noodles, to Parappa getting training to stop the oncoming noodle invasion. Seriously, if you focus on the plot too much, you're gonna ruin this game for yourself. Just don't do it, man. The zany nature of the plot itself is what makes Parappa the Rapper 2 so charming. So just take it with a grain of salt or noodles or whatever, and enjoy the rapping dog. If this game tried to be more engaging and deep, I feel like it would just lose its charm. Though I have to say, is he rapping though? I don't see him making any hits if all he does is repeat the lines he's heard before. Sounds like a bit of a lawsuit waiting to happen if you ask me. Potential court cases aside, let's just enjoy that Parappa the Rapper 2 is one of those games that, at its very core, is just really simple but definitely all the more enjoyable for that fact. The game is all about music and the overly simple but thoroughly enjoyable gameplay. Each song has a basic theme of romancing your partner, training yourself to get stronger, or even a mildly suggestive song about the wonderful world of noodles.
Yeah, that little slippery thing tastes so good all the time. Yeah, that's right. It goes a little something like this. Sorbet, suck it, I know you all like it. Slip it, suck it, I know we all like it.
I'd like to note here that while the game implements its own freestyle mechanic where putting notes freely throughout the song can help increase your score, sometimes trying to actually hit the notes may miss because it thinks you're somewhere in between actually hitting your notes and freestyling. There have been a few occasions where my notes have nearly been on the mark and it just counted as a miss for that segment. And then another time where I was pretty off the mark on all the notes altogether and it just gave me a good score because I think it thought I was freestyling. I think this mechanic becomes way more lenient in later levels, where there are plenty more notes to hit or miss. The game being so short also results in a bit of a difficulty spike. There are only 8 songs in the entire game, so I can understand it being a little hard to find the middle ground between easier songs and songs with more note prompts. The spike isn't too bad, but I think it would have paid off more if the lyric to note ratio would increase a bit more in later parts of the song. Then the next song would automatically start with a higher note to button prompt ratio. A good example here is the song where Parappa is helping his friends out with getting haircuts. God, I swear that makes sense, I think. But that particular song has a good amount of notes to it, but isn't too hard. But then the song directly after it is arguably one of the hardest songs of the entire game. Just seems like a bit of a difficulty curve, but like I said, the game's own mechanic makes it pretty hard to fail. The overall sound of each song can sound a bit jittery due to the game's constant attempts to not make the song sound so uniform, sometimes having characters sing their notes at an offbeat time to allow for some more unique note placement. Even with the choice of freestyle, Parappa kind of comes off sounding nonsensical.
I'm not stuck, my body's still grooving. I'm not stuck, my eyes just come to him, like body no fun.
While we're on the subject of difficulty, Parappa the Rapper 2 has the allure of replayability. Beating the game a few times over rewards you with a different colored cap. And with each colored cap brings about more challenging playthroughs. And once you hit the notes perfectly throughout an entire song, you're rewarded even more so with a playable track of each character's song. Remember that in video games? Where you just got to unlock things by doing difficult things and not just buying it with your mom's credit card? While not the longest game, spanning about an hour in playtime if my captured footage is any indication, having the ability to replay the game with varying difficulties and challenges keeps you coming back for more. And honestly, I found myself coming back to this game just to play it time and time again. I've mentioned quite a few times now that the plot is nothing you'll be savoring, but I love the fact that how over the top and just genuinely stupid it all is. It's a nonsensical mess that you'll never be able to comprehend fully, but that is exactly what makes Parappa the Rapper so lovable. It's not supposed to be deep and it's not worth making sense, but it's a Parappa plot if I've ever heard one. It's usually around here where I like to go over the game's OST and note some of the hit songs. But with Parappa the Rapper, the whole entire game is about its songs, and that makes every track a hit. It makes the soundtrack itself that much more notable and catchy. I can't stress enough how often I've gone back to this just to listen to the songs. Mostly the song Big from Guru Ant, more than anything, even if the American version did come with some censorship.
I'm a man, everybody knows my name.
You are the knows your name.
I'm Lord, everybody knows my name.
You are the Lord, everybody knows your name.
That's right, Guru Ant. You won't be besmirching the name of Jesus.
What's this? A trick with a twist.
For what it's worth, Parappa the Rapper has great music, a bittersweet ending, and is a pleasant experience all around. Hunting down an original copy for the PS2 can be a little pricey, but there are other methods like downloading it from the PSN store. Replaying it again after all this time really took me back to those days of playing originally on the PS2. I said it before and I'll say it again. This is one game you have to experience once. Thanks for watching.
Very smooth, very romantic. I love you. See you next time.
Thanks for watching my review on Parappa the Rapper 2. I'm interested to know how you feel about this one. I think it's one of the best games for the PS2 and wonder if you feel the same. Let me know down in the comments and leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And if you're new, consider subscribing. Be safe and keep it practical.